So for you guys who don't know who card posting is, love card posting. Okay, my autistic king. I love this guy. Love him endlessly. He's like my favorite person in the whole world. Card posting is like a really teeny tiny YouTuber, and he makes cute little like political videos here and there. His biggest videos are where he critiques dog whistles or kind of talks about dog whistles. But you might be deceived by card posting's calm demeanor, his kind of relaxed presentation. Card posting is a savage, bro. Okay, he destroys all who cross his path. Just wonderful, wonderful human being. Okay, love his videos. He's so fucking funny. And he is just like the destroyer of worlds. Okay, he went after Alec Gunter. Now he's going after ActualJake. Anyway, I love this guy. Very endearing. He has a little shack that he built. He built this shack himself. Okay, so you watch the video and you're kind of like, this kind of feels like Silence of the Lambs. But then you're like, hang on, this dude actually just built this whole fucking shack to live in with like a bunch of retro TVs in the background. Endearing. Love him. Love him. King. Anyway, so his big thing, the reason that I know of card posting is because card posting got into like an online with Alec Gunter, and I hate Alec Gunter, so of course I was like, yes. So he called Alec Gunter a slackjaw soy noob male bugman. That was so fucking funny. I have the videos on my YouTube channel. If you click on the little icon right down below, if you click on that and then you go to my videos, I have a couple of videos going over the Alec Gunter card posting hoopla. I just love card. He's so savage. He just fucking goes, and it's amazing. It's incredible because he seems very docile. You wouldn't think that he would be able to cook somebody alive, but he can, and it's amazing to watch and witness and behold. So this was brought to my attention. ActualJake. If anybody knows who ActualJake is, I also hate ActualJake because he's really fucking stupid. Okay, so this is ActualJake. ActualJake is an old atheist YouTube debate dude or whatever, like, you know, way back in the day, like all those fucking people that did the atheist gauntlet. God, like Matt Hooney, I don't know how to say that guy's name. That dude, fucking Jimmy Snow. There were a bunch of people that were in like this sphere where they would do like just like atheist debates and shit. And that's where Jake gets his popularity. But obviously, the well has run dry because we're really not fucking doing well at all. Okay, we're not. Our views are kind of in the toilet. We're kind of like fucking up. It's the same shtick. It's tired. It's boring. Everybody's over it. Like, you can only chud dunk exasperatedly on religious people so many times before it's like, I fucking get it. Your content is boring. Like, make a different fucking argument. He's just insufferable to listen to, in my opinion, and he's really not that fucking smart, which is hilarious to me. And so, Cardposting makes a video about ActualJake, and I dislike ActualJake for a lot of reasons, and the biggest one is that he acts like the smartest person in the room, but he doesn't know anything about fucking anything. He's only good at kind of the chud dunking, like acting exasperated. Oh, it's so fucking stupid. Oh, dude, like you're so fucking like that's all it. That's where it stops. And it's like that kind of content does not work anymore. It's just boring. It's dry. Nobody fucking likes it. It's the same issue with Alec Gunter. You can't actually have the conversation. You just want to like fucking soy out and like crash out in rage every time that, you know, somebody says something that you disagree with. So anyway, I wanted to share with you guys this beautiful card posting video about ActualJake. I just wanted to share it with you guys, and then I wanted to look briefly at the conversation that ActualJake had with President Sunday about religiosity, because, again, as somebody who is an atheist debater, this is your bread and your butter. This is your content. This is your home field advantage, is the topic of your choice, is atheism and spirituality debates. But he can't contend with any actual point. And say what you will about President Sunday, my turbo autistic king, he knows so much about theology and the philosophy of theology. He knows his shit when it comes to that. So watching ActualJake try to talk to somebody who knows what the fuck they're talking about, gold, guys, gold. So let's give our love and attention and our time to my favorite person in the entire fucking world, card posting. I would do anything to hang out in this guy's shack and have a beer with him. Okay, so let's go.
And here on my YouTube page, I like to make simple little videos about things that cross my mind. Recently, I was doing some really basic data entry spreadsheet stuff for an upcoming project, and I decided to throw on some YouTube in the background as I worked, just as filler noise. I basically just hit play on the first thing it recommended me, and I guess the algorithm thought that I'd be interested in atheist debate lord content. Don't know why, but I was working away on my spreadsheet all the while, and in the end I just didn't bother to find something else to listen to all the same. So I ended up hearing this video called Atheism Destroyed by Tacos from a channel called ActualJake. And by the end of it, I didn't think it...
And then I Kill Bill sirens from this channel called ActualJake. Immediate like, wee, wah, wee, wah. I was like, oh shit, here we go, here we go.
been all that good. In fact, I thought it had been very bad for a number of reasons. So when I wrapped up the data entry I was doing, I decided to jot down some thoughts, which I'd like to articulate right now. And before I get into it, because it's always best to do so, and just in case you want to hear the video yourself, I'll link it and the channel it's from at the top of this video's description.
Like, I would just trust this guy with my life. Wouldn't you guys just like I would call card posting before I called the police. Like, I trust this guy with my fucking life. Like, I would. No questions asked. Like, I don't know he's so endearing to me. I love him.
So, I'm not familiar with this channel, but as far as I can tell, ActualJake is a roughly 30k sub streamer type guy who goes around doing the new atheist bit of debunking small religious channels. And specifically, this Atheism Destroyed by Tacos video I'm talking about today is him, Jake, essentially doing that shtick to run-of-the-mill daggy dad-looking Christian guys who are explaining the 4 basic types of evangelical argument using this TACO acronym. Take a look.
We came up with an approach, which we call the taco approach. The T is for teleological. A is for axiological. C is for cosmological. O is for ontological. So whenever you see a taco from now on, remember the taco approach.
Now, I'm not here to defend or attack people who want to make or even just
Yuki is 100% correct. If card posting was American, the LA fires never would have happened. He would have single-handedly stopped them. Card posting would have saved all of Los Angeles. All of it. He would have done it. I know he would have. I trust him. I trust him.
Explain religious arguments of any stripe. What I wanted to get into here is what ActualJake has to say about these guys, because it leaves me with quite a sour taste in my mouth. Because, having just down these 2 no-name suburbanite church dads filming in a kitchen somewhere, Jake tries to pull out the owning you with facts and logic and pedantry attack on these guys. Firstly, I think Jake's arguments, which are supposed to totally dismantle these guys, are actually all really weak, especially for someone who presents themselves as a professional online debate skeptic. And I'll walk through why I think that in a moment. But more importantly, I just think this entire video of ActualJake's here is very representative of a greater problem among a lot of online content. It's just an exercise in sophistry. What I mean by that is,
Good point.
ActualJake is really not any intellectually better than these 2 guys he's responding to. In fact, I'd say he's arguably much worse, at least in this video. What makes me say that is primarily the fact that every time one of these 2 Christian dudes explains one of their points, all Jake does is cut them off mid-sentence to groan and call them stupid without making any sort of point, and he just mumbles a bunch of buzzwords that sounds almost like a parody of edgy Reddit atheism. Take a look.
Really quickly, I am going to make this meme where it's like, if card posting has 5 million fans, I'm one of them. If card posting has 5 fans, I'm one of them. If card posting has 1 fan, I'm one of them. If card posting has no fans, I'm not alive. If the world is against card posting, I am against the world. I'm going to make that meme. I'm going to just go ahead and put that on my desktop, and we're going to do that in a minute because, wow. Wow. Would do anything. Would do anything for him.
Today is that if God does not exist, then objective moral values and
Oh my god, holy shit. Objective moral, I mean, it's obvious that objective morality isn't a thing. It's not real. We are apes on this rock. Like, you just don't have to believe it, but you choose to. It's crazy.
the objective moral values
It's like border, it's stubbornness mixed with pussy shit. Like, you're just pussies when you don't confront reality, in my opinion.
no life at all exists.
Yeah, that's not true. So what happens when they find life on another planet? What occurs to these guys? Does it fuck with them at all?
Hey,
This is a bad video. How many views does it have? I mean, this is presupposing, of course, a god is the argument, teleologically speaking. Why haven't Christians gotten any more...
Teleologically. I think he means tautologically. Christian arguments are actually really interesting, especially like when you come across people that don't know how to engage with like meta-ethical conversations and like, it's meta-ethics is really what it is, where it's like, is there objective truth? If there is objective truth, how do you know that you have access to it? And if you do have access to objective truth, how can anybody externally verify if that objective truth is accurate, right? So people who are religious will say that the objective morality is truth, that there is objective truth to everything, and it's defined by God, that God denotes what is good, what is bad, that morality is dictated by God, essentially. But the problem with that is that if you have people who have 2 different meta-ethical positions on something, with appealing to the same source material or the same scripture, how do you know who is correct? One of them will say that, it was divined to me by God, but it's like, well, if all objective morality is defined by God and I can't access your thoughts, like the content of your thoughts are definitionally inaccessible to me, how can I determine who is correct if we have like a moral disagreement on something? So when people are arguing for or against objective morality, the problem is that you can't just say, oh, well, that's not true. That's not how you like have that argument. You have to like break down what it means to divine information and what it means to have the correct information that is divine to you and from whom. Because like what God, what religion, what pantheon, what version of the Bible, what translation of the Bible? Are you looking at King James? Are you looking at, the Quran? Are you looking at the Torah? Are you looking at the Old Testament? Are you looking at the New Testament? Are you including things that were selectively not put into the Bible? Are you looking at other scriptures? Like there's a lot that goes into talking about meta-ethical conversations in regard to religious, like objective morality, but just going, that's not true. That's not how you have that conversation. Or like, that's dumb. It's literally fake. It's like that. This is your atheist debater. This is the king atheist debater who cannot engage with like the core fundamental argument of Christians and people who believe in objective morality is that they believe it's divine by God. And he just can't do it. He's like, dumb, stupid. That's so fucking dumb. It's like, oh, good one, good one.
More arguments. I know why. There are none. There are no more. We've heard them. That's the sad reality. God doesn't exist. We're alone on this rock, and there are no smart Christians. It's never going to happen.
Just going, actually morality is fake. Going, what if we find aliens are? Going, this is so dumb, and needing to look up definitions on the fly and trying to dunk on the other channel's subscriber count is not a good counter-argument.
True.
The actual thrust of what these two evangelical guys are getting at here with this TACO taco thing is the argument that an observation of complex structures, like in this case a food item made out of multiple different...
And this is something that I think is really interesting as well. If you're somebody who's like, an atheist debater, you should be pretty familiar with the concept of like intelligent design, because that's like fundamentally what a lot of like creationist arguments boil down to is intelligent design. Like you look at the complexity of life and biology and human consciousness and how we live perfectly in an environment where we're not going to die. There's enough water, like the probability of us living perfectly or having such complex design in, what is humanity and our thoughts and our consciousness and all that shit is that it has to have been designed intelligently, right? Like that's one of the fundamental arguments of creationism is that it requires intelligent design for us to like live this way, right? Like that's basically the argument of that.
Discrete prepared ingredients might tend to demonstrate or suggest that the item as a whole has been created by some sort of intelligence. A taco is a shell made out of milled and pressed flour and ground cooked beef and processed pasteurized and shredded cheese. You look at the assembly.
All I'm going to say, though, Cardposting, I will offer you some light constructive criticism here. You're talking about white people tacos right now. There are way better tacos, okay? Like the flour tortilla, the shredded pasteurized cheese, the ground beef. Those are white people tacos. I'm just saying that was a bad example. But I mean, I expect that from somebody from Australia, okay? You guys probably only have white people tacos there. And that's okay. That's okay. White people tacos have their time and their place. But there are certainly other kinds of tacos, right?
Assembled taco and a basic level of familiarity with each of those ingredients means you know all these constituent parts didn't just make themselves, nor did they come together to make a taco on their own. You know that everything that isn't just something you find lying around in nature must have been made by someone, and the more complex a thing is, the more work went into making it. That's the argument anyway. This is their own spin on a thought experiment that's been around for literal centuries called the watchmaker theory, which was originally the suggestion that just as a watch is a complex piece of machinery which requires a trained expert to build, the more complex we understand the natural universe to be, the more it would seem to suggest that the universe itself must have required an advanced creator figure to have made it. Now, people have been penning very eloquent responses to this argument from a number of different angles for just as long as the argument itself has been around. I was expecting ActualJake to walk his audience through one of those, perhaps, but I couldn't help but notice he kind of just lets the whole point skate past him while he just does whatever the hell this is instead.
They don't form like this by nature. They have to be put in this formation by a designer.
Apes thinking they're so fucking smart. Anyway, I mashed the corn. I mashed it, and I mashed it, and I mashed it, and then I mashed it some more, and then I smashed it into a crack, and then I burned it, and then I ate it. All of it.
I just cringe. Like who amongst us has never been cringe, you guys? But it's like, again, if this is your content, this is your magnum opus, is atheist debates. Why can't you? That's a great point. Why can't you walk your audience through like why this is wrong? Why can't you like actually engage with it instead of just like soying out? I don't know.
All this is acts of destruction, and it made a tortilla. Therefore, anything I see that resembles something I don't immediately knee-jerk as fucking natural, that's evidence of a designer.
This is basically a microcosm of ActualJake's whole attack strategy throughout this whole video. He just makes a lot of noise and smugly acts like he's got a point, when I genuinely don't even think he understands the points these two Christian guys are making. Like a few minutes later, not really understanding the point of the watchmaker/taco analogy, Jake just goes, these guys are arguing that God must have made something if it looks pretty, and there's pretty stuff in nature all the time, so haha, debunked. Ignoring that, of course, that's not the point being made. They never actually said that, he just imagined they would. Then, in an effort to debunk the straw man he's just made, he pulls up an image of what he considers a naturally occurring pretty thing, which is a chunk of the element bismuth. And hilariously, I guess he doesn't even notice that the bismuth he shows on stream is actually a specimen that has been synthesized in a lab, made by an intelligent creator, which you can tell just by looking at it. He actually fails to
Like, I love card posting is like, yeah, obviously that bismuth was like created in a lab. And I'm like, I would never know that. And I love that you know that. Like, I'm so happy that you shared that with me. Like, I wouldn't have known. I don't know fuck all about bismuth, but I trust that card posting does. He doesn't even have to source to me that the bismuth was made in a lab. I'm like, true, card posting. It was made in a lab. I completely agree. Ugh.
properly dunk on his own straw man point here. Take a look.
Anyway, so they would argue, well, no, God made the world, or whatever, so you can't do anything. He does a naturally occurring thing. I'm sure many of you already know about this. But some people maybe are like, I don't like rocks or geology. You should. Why does this happen? Not God is the answer. It happens due to the way the substance forms, right?
Or here's another pattern I noticed. Jake will hear these guys use a word he doesn't know, so he'll cut them off. Then he'll have to look it up live, barely understand the definition he gets off of Google. Then he'll scoff and keep acting all haughty and arrogant. When I would think that if you don't actually know what these guys are talking about, you shouldn't consider yourself anywhere near capable of critiquing them.
Base card posting.
design, and you have the fine-tuning of the universe that
Fine-tune, never mind. How the DACA is an acronym relating to or involving the explanation of phenomena in terms of the purpose they serve, rather than by the cause by which they arise, relating to a doctrine of design and purpose in the material world. Yeah, I mean, this is presupposing, of course, a God is the argument, teleologically speaking.
This is basically...
And he says like, I'm not wrong, guys. I am dyslexic as fuck. So you guys hold me accountable right now. It's tautological, right? Not teleological. Am I saying that? Have I been saying that wrong this whole time? It's tautological, right? Or is that a totally different word? Hold me accountable.
Basically the big problem I have with content like this video from ActualJake. It's just intellectually empty. It does not engage with any argument from the other side. It doesn't explore any new ideas. The crap like this literally only exists for the people who will never speak to someone who doesn't already believe what they believe. As a progressive, I think it's bad.
What is the word that I'm thinking of then? What is the word that he's saying then? I thought that was tautological because he's saying that like the question itself begs or like begets the answer, that it's circular, that because this thing is complex, therefore it necessitates intelligent design. Is that not a tautology? Am I the dumb one in the room right now? Is that not a teleology? Couldn't that also be a tautological argument though? Right? Like if your definition of objective morality is it comes from God, and it's true because it comes from God, that's also tautological though, no? Right? But it could also, am I wrong in saying that that's also a tautology? Or am I getting fucking bodied by ActualJake right now? Because to me that sounds like it's tautological, right? Listen, there's nothing wrong with being the dumb person in the room. That means that you learn more, okay? I do think that this guy means tautological. Okay, so I'm not the only one that's like smoking crack right now. Okay, just doing a vibe check because sometimes I can't really tell because to me, I would say like that kind of sounds like a tautology, so I could understand why he would use that word. So I'm just doing a vibe check, jumping to YouTube chat to help Slam Jake. So he's just using the wrong word. Oh, okay. So I'm not the dumb one here. I mean, it's possible. All things are possible through Christ who compels us, but it's not me. Okay, got it.
You can have a profitable, cushy career making garbage content on the internet. The online marketplace of ideas churns out a lot of garbage. I dislike, say, Andrew Tate-style misogyny influencers because they're just pandering to an audience by telling them what they want to hear and priming them to believe in a misogynistic dude bro mindset. I generally dislike the religious evangelizing videos that are just telling a captive audience to believe things on faith and turn their brains off and just believe what they're hearing. And equally so, I also dislike the same sort of content just being made on the premise of believe my atheistic worldview just cause. I do not think it is good that someone making content like that can flourish and get themselves a sizable income and large platform, regardless of what subject or side of the political aisle they're on. Frankly, one of my biggest problems with capitalism is how it allows incredibly dumb, incurious, unskilled people to succeed far too often.
Cook him.
One little thing I just want to quickly point out. Throughout these two Christian guys' original video, they play into the bit about how one of these guys is Mexican, and that's why they're talking about tacos. Or they'll joke about how, evangelism is hard work. That's okay, because I'm a Mexican and therefore good at hard work. And every time they do that, Jake gets all performatively incensed about how racist the video is.
That's a stereotype, but Mexicans are hard workers.
What the fuck? How do you just sit here and you listen to him do this to you? This is just how your life is now on the grind? And you fucking racist? Why are you like this? I didn't know this was gonna happen right off the rip. My first impression of this guy, he's a flaming racist.
They wanted to lean into his Mexican heritage. I suggested beat an atheist like a pinata.
Wow, we're still doing it. Dude, he is fucking racist.
Guys, is it racist if you have a small banter or inside joke with your friend that happens to be of a different race? Does that make you racist to engage in slightly edgy humor with your friend? Does that make you racist? Are you racist because you and your non-white friends sometimes tell silly little goofy girl jokes to each other? Horrible. And this poor Mexican guy, I mean, he doesn't even know that this guy's such a fucking violent racist because they're friends and make jokes like that. Like, he has no idea. He's probably being held there at gunpoint while this guy makes horrible racist jokes to him. He totally probably doesn't think it's funny at all. He is probably just, like, crying every time they turn off the camera. He's like, please stop being racist. And he's like, it's for the bit. And then he calls him like a... That's probably what's happening, right?
Now, if you've got two brain cells to rub together, I don't need to tell you that actually two buddies in a mixed-race friendship actually can do a little light-hearted ethnic banter with one another. But I guess Jake would have you believe that the dastardly white guy tricked this poor innocent Mexican into appearing in a video and being made the subject of jokes.
I love him.
Point, hey Jake, if you ever happen to see this, if you think casual racism in a YouTube video is such a real problem, and you care about the plight of the brown man so much, maybe it would be a good look if you didn't keep cutting Mr. Hernandez off to say things like, this ape thinks he's so smart.
Apes.
True, bro. True, bro. We're really concerned about the racism in the room with us, but we have no problem calling non-white people apes. True. Yes, card posting my king.
They're so fucking smart.
If there's one
What was that
to
laugh?
reflect on today, it's that if you were having a sit-down discussion about these sorts of philosophical religious issues in real life, and you acted like ActualJake does here, you would be told to fuck off. Thankfully, people generally know not to act like this to other people in the real world. But I still don't enjoy seeing anything made with this.
Also, do you guys hear the crickets in the background of Card Posting's video? It's like, this man is everything to me. The calming crickets in the background. It's like,
sort of attitude flourishing online. In any case, it's just something I wanted to express my feelings about. Once again, my name's Card. If you might like to hear more from me, feel free to subscribe to this.
everybody go subscribe to Card Posting right now. So that was you guys, I'm telling you right now, Card Posting is everything that you could want and more in a content creator. The fact that Card Posting doesn't have 1 million subscribers is just fucked up, okay? Because Card Posting is the GOAT.